Hi, I'm David with EV World News. We're talking about electric vehicles, green energy, and the stock markets. And I'm back on a Wednesday with our resident engineer, Mike Herzog. How's it going today, Mike?
Glad to be back, David. As always, it's a beautiful-ish Wednesday, except it's cold and rainy.
Afternoon rain.
It's getting there.
My grass is starting to grow. We have to start mowing the grass soon.
I know. I probably should have last weekend, but
yeah.
Instead
I think Sunday is the first day. It's supposed to be 60 and sunny on Sunday. It's really weird though. Didn't we have a 90-degree day?
We did, like last week or 2 weeks ago.
I mean, that had to have been some kind of all-time record for that.
It's close. They're going up and down, left and right. Anytime you get into the 90s this time of year around here, you're flirting with the record.
Yeah, that was and then of course it's supposed to freeze at least 2 nights this week.
Yeah.
So
that's the discussion, not to talk about Nebraska weather, but we're Nebraskans, so that's what we do.
That's
but
what
it's
we do.
So many people I've talked to are flipping back and forth between AC and heat, almost on like multiple times per day. It's in the morning, it's real cold, but by the afternoon, it's nice and toasty.
Well, yesterday, we started off the show by Bill showing the power grid for the area, showing how much of it was wind, and we were up in the like 2/3 range for the region. For the entire Midwest was all being powered by wind power, and I thought that was kind of interesting. So, yesterday we did talk a lot about data centers and energy use, but I want to bring this up with you on here. So U.S. data center demand is projected to hit 74 gigawatts by 2028. That will be a 49 gigawatt shortfall. They want 74. That means there's only going to be expected to be 25 available. We need another 49 gigawatts of power. That's near the shortfall is equal to Canada's entire annual consumption of energy.
I mean, the short answer is like we can't do it. I mean, that may be what the demand is, but it's not going to work. I mean, the power is not there. The power is not there.
No, it's just like that little city that said, "Oh, we can get some transmission lines." It's like, what's that going to do?
What's that going to? Where are the electrons going to come from? Yeah. I mean, that is truly it's the challenge we're seeing right now. The new model that the industry is seeing, which is scary and different, but it's bring your own generation. And I know we've talked about that before and what it looks like. It's scary from a grid planner standpoint, because I don't know who's maintaining it. I don't know what they're doing. Can we count on, everything like that? But it's the only answer. The problem is when we're talking 2028, like that's equipment lead time. I mean, even if you put your orders in today, you're not going to have the equipment you need by 2028. So the numbers we're talking about, I know we've said it before, they're just like it's the size of Canada.
People talk about gigawatts like it's no big deal.
Yeah, it's just a couple gigawatts here. Well, could we change that from 100 megawatts to 250 megawatts? So a population of like 100,000 people, like no big deal.
Yeah. So I'm working with a waste to energy provider to sell power to a data center going in northern Florida.
Mm-hmm.
They're just a small data center that needs 2 gigawatts.
It's insane. It's insane.
Which isn't small by any stretch. Yeah. Okay. But, they made it seem real casual, especially when you compare it to the 2 8-gigawatt data centers, the one in Texas and
the
one in Virginia that are going in, that are both off grid, but somewhat. They're still going to be connected to the grid, but they're getting all their power from other places. But it's all, it's funny because I was telling Bill, the company in Florida, their website has all these pictures of solar farms. It's like they can have all the solar farms they want. They have 3,000 acres under contract. That'll produce 600 megawatts of solar, but that's only the equivalent of what, maybe 40, 50 megawatts of natural gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time everything's said and done, and when you get the energy and everything, I mean, it can't do it. Renewables can't do it. We can't do it, which is one of the reasons, bringing this back all around, why we talk about nuclear so much when we're throwing out these big numbers and everything in those spaces. That's a reasonable solution. I mean, if we want to move away from fossil fuels and eventually move away from natural gas, even like, it probably has to be nuclear. Has to be nuclear. I don't see another viable choice out there. So these big numbers that we're throwing out and everything, I mean, it's it has to have a solution somewhere, and that's the only thing that kind of fits the bill.
Right. Well, and it's funny because I was telling somebody yesterday, it's like, okay, you've got a gigawatt of solar going online worldwide every day. And how much nuclear is going online every day? Generally nothing, right?
Nothing.
Occasionally somewhere around the world, a few hundred megawatts or a gigawatt will go up, but it's like solar's a gigawatt every day. And,
Yeah.
but it's not equal math, right? So solar is only 14% as efficient as nuclear. So you need about 6-7 gigawatts of solar to equal a gigawatt of nuclear.
It's not just 14%. Here in our part of the country, it's accredited for 0% in the winter.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So
just for winter months. So
yeah.
if you have constraints in winter in those areas there, you don't get any benefit out of it on the books. On paper, when you have to prove like I have enough generation to cover my load and my needs in winter months, you don't even get to count solar. And we're not ragging on solar's great. Put solar up. You got solar on your house. Put it up. It's a very, very positive thing. Develop it at the commercial scale. Put it everywhere you can. It's a good thing. But it can't fill that gap by itself. It needs help.
No, it is interesting, and it's funny because this segues in the next thing. So renewables are expected to be 100% of new U.S. power capacity in 26. So for this year, here's where this is kind of working. Fossil fuels are flatlining in the U.S. to some degree, which I'm not sure exactly why. The EIA projects zero net new capacity from coal, oil, or gas in 26 in the United States. And so I don't know if facilities are being shut down or what's going on.
It has to be, right? It has to be decommissioning of older facilities and then bringing, because that's the short-term answer. It's gas. I mean, everybody's putting in natural gas.
Right.
So it's kind of how, I don't know how that statement. EIA is the right people. I mean, they're the ones who know and study all that stuff, but there's got to be something else going on.
Yeah. So, and that was something I was kind of wondering about. I looked there was a pretty extensive article on the topic, but solar is dominating with expected 41.5 gigawatts of utility scale solar in the United States, plus 22 gigawatts of battery storage, plus 14 gigawatts of wind, almost 10 gigawatts onshore and 4 gigawatts offshore. Renewables hit 36.6% of total capacity in January. January 26 generation was 25% renewable, which was up 11.5% year over year. Solar was up 15.3%, wind up 1.9%, hydro up 30%.
Did a new dam just turn? I thought they were shutting dams down. In the Northwest. I thought that was a big deal.
For those watching, hydro isn't a real big part of the U.S. power grid, except for like Washington State.
Yeah.
It does exist in other places. I'm sure we probably have a dam somewhere here in Nebraska generating a little bit of power.
Just so the other big stream for that is the Missouri River that we're on. It was big Corps of Engineers projects. So there's huge reservoirs that are all have hydro dams on them. So like Gavin's Point, just north of here, has hydro on it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, but it isn't. No. It's almost statistically insignificant.
Yeah. If it's one of those, God, if we had it, it'd be great. I mean, it's base load, it's dirt cheap. The Pacific Northwest has some of the lowest power rates in the world because it's all hydro.
Right. Yeah, it's just funny to see some of that. Coal fell 12.8% and gas actually dropped 3.4%. So somewhere somebody's shutting down gas power plants.
God,
it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know how to reconcile that in my head. When everyone I talk to and everything I see, it's all the generation proposals for gas.
Yeah. Basically, right now, you can hate coal. We pretty much do hate coal in this show, but you could be burning wood right now and you could sell the power. So I mean, there's such a demand.
Bunker fuel, man. Yeah. That's trash compacted. Trash isn't a bad one. Trash is actually that's kind of reasonable.
But that's a good one. But it's just it's hard to fathom that despite what the current administration feels about renewables, that's really where it's at right now, and the growth for 26. At least what's in now, all those LNG ones, like we're talking about for these data centers, those aren't going online this year.
Good point. Good point. Maybe that's what it is. It's just we got a year delay on everything.
There's an absolute tsunami of LNG going onto the grid.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
In the next couple of years, just not 26.
Yeah. Maybe that's a super unique little snapshot of before the storm hits.
Yeah, but a lot of times when you're quoting statistics, you have to have a kind of a frame of mind in it that maybe 26 is an anomaly, right? So, maybe next year we get 20 gigawatts of new LNG production.
You know what? I like your tsunami analogy quite a bit, because you know how it's like the ocean goes out for a little bit before the wave hits. Maybe this is just that little tiny bit of the ocean retracting.
It rolled back 3.4%.
Yeah, it rolled back 3.4% before.
And it's about to hit us with 30. Yeah, no, it's going to be. I'm sure that we're going to just see everything kind of turn on its head, and LNG just all of a sudden, be like 2/3 of power generation in the United States all of a sudden, just because of what is going on with data centers. So it's kind of startling to see that. All right, here's a fun one. Toyota's got a new $22,000 luxury EV. Got 3,100 orders in the first hour.
Is that an oxymoron? I don't.
It's the B27. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the BZ7. I'm reading a Z as a 2. It's the BZ7 sedan.
You're going back to old bomber. Bomber numbers again. That's good.
And
there was a B27.
They're building it in cooperation with Huawei, Xiaomi, and Momenta. They're making this thing in China. It's launched at $21,500, has LiDAR, 700-kilometer range, which is, wow, that's almost 400-mile range.
Miles.
Yeah. Advanced smart cockpit features. It's Japan's strongest EV push yet. 3,100 orders in 60 minutes signals Toyota is finally serious about competing in the world's largest EV market after years of hybrid dominance. At 22,000, this undercuts most Western EVs and shows how Chinese tech partnerships enable radical cost reduction. It's crazy that we used to look at Japan as being the model of efficiency in the car industry, right?
Yeah.
But they're not anymore. It's China.
The Toyota process, the Kaizen process, that was all Toyota.
Yeah, I mean, it's China now. China has figured out how to make cars,
and that's I don't want to brush past that of Toyota partnering with a Chinese automaker. I mean, just the history between those two nations and what that means and what that looks like. I think that's a very significant announcement. They see the writing on the wall.
Right. It's kind of wild just seeing some of this. I mean, America's going to get hit in some way by all this.
Now, did you say that they're partnering with Hawaii?
Yeah, Huawei or Hawaii. It's Huawei. Now that company.
Oh, Huawei. Okay.
Is it Huawei?
Yeah, I think so. I thought you meant the state of Hawaii.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
I've always pronounced it
that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the company that's their cell phones are banned in the United States.
Yes. Yeah.
But
probably rightfully so. Probably rightfully.
Yeah. Hey, well, we're not praising the Chinese government. Okay. So we'll make that clear. China's a bad actor in all kinds of things, from everything from devaluing their currency.
Human rights.
They're dirty players in the export markets. Okay. There's no question they're not clean players in the export markets, but they are a country run by engineers, and we are seeing marvels of engineering come out of that country. Doesn't mean there's a lot of things they can do with it. It's just like I always see these things on Quora trying to compare like the Chinese J-20 fighter, how much better it must be than the F-35, and it's like, right, or how Chinese radar really helped the Iranians detect all the stealth fighters, how Chinese and Russian radars will detect the F-35. And it's like, there's talk that an F-35 may have actually been hit by ground fire somehow, but it's not invisible when it opens its bomb bay doors.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it returned to base.
Yeah.
So
But
it
it
wasn't
actually might have
shot down, but
hit.
one did take damage from something. Might have hit a bird.
Well,
I mean, we really don't
I
know.
I would not bet against the U.S. military technology. Just saying.
I mean, there's so many drones in the air. The damn thing could have flown into a drone.
Yeah. I mean that's when we talk about those things, I would not not discredit the U.S. or if think of all the stuff we know about. Think of all the stuff that there must be that we don't know about that's out there. It's just
Are you familiar with Anduril?
Yeah.
Okay. So most of us know.
Are they their own, or are they subsidiary of Palantir?
No, they're their own.
They're their own thing.
This young guy, he's in his 20s as CEO, and he started out they're making jet drones. They're making them basically out of commercial jet products. So it's not like super high tech. They look stealthy, but they're not really stealthy. Or maybe they have some stealth designs, but they don't have stealth materials. So what the idea is, a pilot going into dangerous territory might have 2 or 3 of these Anduril drones with them that maybe
take
the flight officer behind them is the weapons officer is controlling, but they're semi-autonomous. They don't necessarily need input. They could be used to strike targets. The F-35 could control them to go strike targets. But the other thing is they've developed an anti-drone system that is, so you've seen the little Shahed drones, like the flying burritos.
Yep.
So Anduril makes a similar product that is recyclable, meaning it will return to base. It's a jet drone, and it will hunt down drones, destroy them, and return. So as opposed to they're always talking about how the Shahed drone probably doesn't even cost $20,000,
and we're shooting it down with a multi-million-dollar missile.
Yeah. The Anduril one is even much cheaper, and it's far cheaper to operate. And they've got them running now all over the Middle East. At least on the friendly side of the Strait of Hormuz, and they were showing how it uses AI to track likely places, and so these drones will be loitering in the zones, waiting for the smaller drones to come along, and then they'll pop them off.
The founder of it, it's on one of the videos my kids watch, where they're talking about anti-drone technology and how to design it. Because I think he started one of the VR headsets as a kid. Like,
wow,
he dropped out of high school and I think made like the Oculus headset that he uses now. So, and then he moved on to this drone, and it's a real for kids. It's not heavy in the military, but it's here's how you stop drones today. Like, here's the problem with this. If you try to shoot a drone down with the laser, I can put a 10-cent pie tin underneath it that deflects the laser. So, what is the next step? Well, we can try to scramble its communications. We can try this. We can try. I don't know. The kids love it. It was really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about all the different things. Well, you look at in Ukraine, how both sides are using these fiber optic cables.
Yeah.
So they can't be jammed. And now there's like spider webs of fiber optic cables. I'm like, who's making all this damn fiber optic cables? Because we're talking miles of, or more of spooling coming out of the damn drone as it's flying to the target. And it's hard to imagine. I'm sure that stuff's light, but when you start talking to miles worth of even
it adds up.
Yeah, it's adding up.
Data sets they have gotten out of that conflict, the Russian-Ukraine conflict. It's changed the world. It has changed warfare because it's how drones operate, what they're doing, how they're monitoring, how they're reprogramming. I mean, they have like 3 or 4 years of drone data that they're training off of right now to improve that. It's really, really terrifying is maybe the word for it.
I was watching a professional skeet shooter has some videos on YouTube of him defending targets from drones, and them trying to come in with a drone swarm to try to attack.
To try to duck hunt style or Space Invaders style.
And he's with the shotgun just popping them off, but he still can't get every one.
Yeah.
But he's considered to be like one of the top 2-3 shooters in the world, and they still could get somebody.
I've heard that from people in the armed forces, that it's the most terrifying sound when you hear a drone, and if you're in a Hummers, it is all hands on deck, and everybody pulls out their firearm, and you have to take it down as fast as you can, because it has no conscience. It has a grenade duct taped to it that its only purpose is to go hit your vehicle.
Yeah, well, it's just wild to think that that's what things have come to, right?
Yeah.
They're coming up with all kinds of ammunition now that will explode like a shotgun and spread and hit the things and stuff like that. But I thought the Anduril thing was like, wow,
that's crazy. Well, I've heard that's what's killing the Strait of Hormuz right now. It's underwater drones. It's just little take drone technology, but turn it into an automated torpedo, and we don't have any answers for that. And that's what's killing the Strait right now.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that. That's actually it's pretty novel what people come up with for weapon systems, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of those people. Oh crap! Like the water is swarming with these things.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Iranians are clever, if nothing else. But, yeah. But you got to be right when you're on a budget.
Yeah.
It is amazing what people come up with. All right. Texas $50 billion clean energy boom is being derailed by fossil fuel politics. Now there was
go figure. Oil state.
Well, the Inflation Reduction Act had a lot of different features explaining, ways that, providing investment in green technologies, right? And Texas expected $50 billion in wind, solar, and hydrogen investments under the IRA, promising to reshape rural counties with jobs and tax revenue. But the anti-wind backlash has been funded by fossil fuel donors. Political groups backed by oil and gas interests worried about eroding margins have slowed or halted development through local opposition campaigns. Communities now clashing over land use, water rights, and transmission infrastructure as the fossil fuel lobby protects existing generation assets. It's funny. Yesterday, Bill and I were talking. There's a company that was disposing of 4,000 wind turbine blades, and they haven't actually done it. So now there's both civil lawsuits and criminal attempts to go after them. And some of it was interesting concept, but one of the best designs I'd heard of ways to get rid of them was to use them to backfill coal mines.
Yeah, I was going to say, go find a quarry somewhere and
backfill it.
Dump them in, or go to the middle of the ocean and push them overboard.
Yeah, he was asking if my friend who recycles styrofoam could take them in, but
could do anything.
They're fairly, they're not completely indestructible, but they're pretty hard to break.
I would imagine so. I mean, they take a beating up there.
Yeah, I think they're designed to be somewhat fireproof. So I think there's a challenge there in trying to. There's probably a real challenge in trying to recycle them. They've got to come up with. Apparently, there's been some moves to come up with some more recyclable designs.
Okay.
But they just really haven't been implemented. So that's going to be something a little bad. All right. EV manufacturers cancel and delay U.S. models. Volvo bailed on the EX30. Have you and I talked about this one before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the disappointing one. That's the
because
especially with how well it did in Europe. It just killed it in Europe.
Yeah. Well, but it came to the United States $10,000 more expensive too. And then I think that Volvo's incentives with the tariffs looks like they got nixed somehow with the newer tariffs. So that was rough on it. Let's see here. But there's still some, we've got some new things going on with the Rivian, Lucid with they have another one. They've got the Gravity out now. It's an SUV. They got another one called the Cosmos. The Chevy Bolt is returning with sub $30,000 with LFP batteries. which remember the Bolt was the one that used to catch on fire. LFP won't catch on fire. Lexus ES EV that's supposed to arrive in April, and the BMW i3 New Class, or however you say that. But they're redoing the i3, so it's not quite as butt ugly. I mean, that was another one, where somebody did an EV, and it's like, here, let's make all the people that drive EVs look like morons.
Yeah.
So, give them something really bizarre looking.
Years ago, I was excited about that car, and it's like, I'm into it. And somebody's looked at me, he's like, really? And I hadn't seen a picture of it yet. And I saw it, and I went, oh, never.
Yeah.
Never mind.
It's kind of like the Smart for Two car, right?
Yeah.
And it's a little better. I mean, it does have, like a 2+2 seating, which is a little better. Honestly, the Smart for Two car is made electric in a lot of cases, but they did make gas versions. There's a YouTube video of a guy put a 300 horsepower engine in a Smart for Two car, and he had to put a fifth wheel on the back because otherwise it'd be popping wheelies.
So I was to say, how big of a spoiler would you need? I mean, airplane size.
Apparently, it's ridiculously fast. He said he could have made it even faster. He had to actually throttle it back because it would outrun anything on the road because the car had absolutely zero weight.
Yeah, there's no weight to it. Just don't crash.
It's like it was like a Supra. Okay. And
that's what, just don't crash or that thing's going to disintegrate.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but it was pretty funny. It had like a bicycle tire or something on
to the balance it out,
bolted so that the thing couldn't wheelie. Because it just would have flipped over on its back. But anyways, all right. Oh, we got another EV World article. New York City congestion pricing working despite Washington Post criticism. So early results are impressive. Traffic reduced, speeds have gone up 15 to 40%. Transit ridership boosted. Major funding generated for New York City system upgrades. Washington Post continues framing congestion prices as politically risky or anti-driver, despite New York City's measurable success and global evidence supporting the policy. When I was out in New York City last year, and this was after this came through, I was in Manhattan. It really didn't seem like there was a lot of cars. And that's part of it.
That's what it was doing, right?
It was encouraging people not to drive in Manhattan, essentially. EV transit synergy. Policy encourages shift to public transit and EVs while funding infrastructure improvements, yet political opposition remains strong. I'm trying to remember. I probably had at least a couple of Ubers and Lyfts be EVs while I was there. I didn't know my way around the subway system, or else I would have taken it. That's obviously what everybody else was doing, but I had no idea. And I didn't figure I wanted to learn it in a 2-day trip.
Yeah.
Let's see. So a company called XWeather did a 2026 EV range report. And weather can equal up to a 200-mile range swing. Using a 250-mile baseline, ideal conditions, warm and dry, push ranges near 300 miles from 250. And they did some of this in New Mexico. Now, New Mexico, you can kind of have all 4 seasons in the same state going on at the same time because you've got
elevation, you got
desert and stuff like that. Cold, snow, and wind and wet roads cut range from 250 down to below 100 miles in the Northeast. That's some pretty big changes.
I don't think about wet roads necessarily.
Yeah.
Like cold, I absolutely get. Adverse conditions, wind, obviously everything, but the wet roads haven't an impact. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Now EVs are supposed to be superior for snow and wet roads just because of the instant feedback to the motor. But rolling resistance dominates most states. Energy loss from tire friction, road conditions was the primary drain. Air drag led only in Florida, Louisiana, and Texas. Seasonal extremes create massive uncertainty for grid operators forecasting EV charging load. Winter peaks could stress infrastructure in cold weather states. Well, only if we ever get some, mass adoption of EVs.
But I think that's the risk. So for forever grids, our part of the country, if it's warm, it's focused on summer because AC drives it. And like we talked about earlier, solar's not accredited, in the summer in this part of the country. And with data centers coming on and their flat load profile throughout the year, like winter's becoming a concern. Winter's a major concern now. And knowing that EVs consume more energy when it's cold and in those conditions, it does add up. But some of those headlines and putting like it will do this or people are I don't know. It's a little played out, I think, from the EV space. It's not what people are thinking it was going to be.
So a company called StarCloud has raised $170 million in a Series A round to build data centers in space. They're kind of doing a little bit of what Elon Musk is talking about. And interestingly enough, they did use SpaceX to launch their first satellite in December, I think it was. And it values the space computing company at a $1.1 billion valuation, making one of the fastest startups to reach unicorn status after graduating from Y Combinator. And let's see here. StarCloud has raised $200 million total and launched its first satellite with an NVIDIA H100 GPU. Oh, it was in November. They'll launch a more powerful version, the StarCloud 2, later this year with multiple GPUs, including an NVIDIA Blackwell chip and an Amazon Web Services server blade, as well as a Bitcoin mining computer. They're looking to develop data center spacecraft designed to launch from Starship, and which is the reusable rocket that Musk makes. StarCloud 3, which is what the spacecraft will be named, will be a 200 kilowatt, 3-ton spacecraft that fits into a Pez dispenser style system SpaceX designed to deploy Starlink satellites from Starship. 200 kilowatts.
So I'm assuming it's solar up there?
Yeah, it's all going to be solar.
It's all going to be solar.
Yeah. And the CEO, Philip Johnston, says he expects that this will be the first orbital data center that is cost competitive with terrestrial data centers, which cost on the order of 5 cents per kilowatt hour of power. Man, that's not going to last. That 5 cent kilowatt, that price isn't going to last. It's just a lot of them are already on old time power purchase agreements, right?
Yep, they get locked in. If you got in 5 years ago, you got locked in on a lot.
Yeah, they could have gotten locked in at a nickel, but and that's not going to continue to be the norm by any stretch.
It can't be. It can't, right? It can't. Yeah.
If commercial launch costs land around $500 per kilogram, so $225 a pound is what they've got to be able to get that cost down to. The challenge is Starship isn't really flying yet. Johnson said he expects commercial access to open up in 28 and 29. So he's got
that price doesn't sound bad if they can get it down to the per pound or per kilogram. I mean, shit, I'd go to space for that. Like if you can ship me up there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I might create my own satellite and put it up there.
For that, yeah, just
that's going to get funny, isn't it? Here, can I book? I got want to host my own server up in the
host it up in space.
Can you keep it over my house so I can really access it?
Geosynchronous orbit. There you go.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, Starlink has 10,000. Okay, Starlink's communication network, the largest satellite network in orbit with 10,000 spacecraft, produces something around 200 megawatts of energy in space.
Okay.
That's pretty big.
That's not bad, right?
Yeah. Oh, it says, well, data centers with more than 25 gigawatts of power are currently under construction in the U.S. Okay, that has to be combined. That's combined. That's not a single.
That's not a single.
Yeah. But when I read it, it's making me think it was one. It's like, what?
Instead, the state of Connecticut's going to become a data center.
Right. The state of Virginia is pretty much there. But I thought that this was a pretty,
It's cool. Yeah. I mean, the numbers are off, but I'm glad to see people are looking at that. I mean, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, the whole idea that space will keep the computer cool.
It keeps it cool, and you get higher radiation, better solar output in space. I mean, it's sure, go for it.
What about when you got to reboot that damn thing? Can you go up there and you press the power button on and off and restart the damn thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just wild what people come up with. I mean, it's just so hard to fathom that we've come to this point. That's where some of this is going. Anyways, Mike, I want to thank you for coming on today. Folks, thanks for watching. And I'll be back with Bill on Friday, and Mike will be back with us next week. Otherwise, folks, have a great day.